sure where he should be. Here he gives us a parting look. Here we are at the graduation. Happy family. Little Katie Jo Johnson. She's very happy to be here. Hello, Kate. There's Ann. There's Granny. There's Jode. There's the beef. There's Trixie Ann Johnson. Hello, Trixie Ann. Can I get some shots of the whole courtyard? Let me go ahead. We just panned the courtyard, folks. There's the judge waiting to see his last son get out of college. There's the expectant mother. She's very eager with anticipation of this glorious event, long-awaited event. Let's see how everybody's dressed. Mrs. Jody Johnson, mother of the graduate, dressed in a blue, in a green, varying shades of green, striped, chiffon, whatever. There's Judge Johnson, sunshades, pipe, navy blue suit, very conservative, judge's image all the way. Here's Granny Vreeland, the bright spot, hailing from Louisville, Kentucky. Magnificent yellow suit she's sporting. She's always dressed very smartly, very to a T. Matching pocketbook, matching shoes. No flies on this woman. There's my beautiful wife, Patricia Ann, with the usual blustering comments. Go ahead, folks. Hey, who's that kid? And there's Ann. A very smart suit she has. Well, what is that she has on? It's not a suit. Yeah, it is a suit. And there's little Katie Jo.
Okay. Right down these steps.
This is where all the graduates of the University of Virginia, the undergraduate and graduate programs. It's basically gathering for the initial commencement ceremonies. Preparing to read, I believe. cheering. You can see the graduates now. I don't know what graduates or what here, folks. Some undergrads, law, business, medical, philosophy. We don't know what some of these people are.
You'll have to get behind the ropes.
Okay. Got the button
Now these are some oranges. I don't know. This is the entertainment section. This is architecture. So yeah,
there's the happy family right there. Ned's taking a picture. There's a little happy baby. Wave at us, Katie. Katie.
Katie Joe.
That's gonna be loud on you. What a grumpy face.
You should not use up all your film so we can look at your
You haven't seen him yet, have you? Careful. Yep.
Merrill, President Moore, colleagues, parents, spouses, relatives, and friends of the graduating students, and finally those to whom I chiefly address these remarks, the memorable members of the mighty class of 1986. I felicitate you on this glorious occasion, and I wish you good fortune in the great out there, the world of professional lawyering. You have made it, and you have every reason to be proud. You also have every reason to be grateful to the parents who footed the bills and who formed in you the will to achieve, to your teachers of the past who invested you with a yearning to know and understand the world about you, to spouses, significant others, and friends who lifted your spirits and sustained you during the trying times. And yes, I'll dare to say it, to your teachers here, who showed their caring about you and about law by providing you with the intellectual stuff out of which to shape productive careers in the law. That you will be successes in the practice of law is a practical certainty. When I read this spring, for the first time in my 23 years here, a set of third-year exams in a straight law course, the name of which eludes me, I was actually startled by what I saw. In 3 years' time, 3 years that had passed for me in the blink of an eye, you would become lawyers. Not ordinary lawyers, but true professionals. With scarcely an exception, the writing was clean and crisp. The analysis was clear and to the point, and in case after case, startlingly insightful. I learned much from your exams, and you will be kind if you do not tell me that I had much to learn. The class of 1986, as many of you know, is a special one for me. I came to this law school in the fall of 1963, exactly 20 years before your arrival. And when you did come, it was my honor and privilege, thoughtfully granted to me by Dean Merrill, as a way of marking my 2 decades of teaching law school, to deliver to you an address of welcome. And if you use your memory banks the way I use mine, you remember what I said in that speech about as well as you remember the rule in Shelley's case. But I do remember what I said to you that day. I told you first that you would form with your fellow students and with faculty friendships that would endure for a lifetime. Unless I have badly misread the signs, that is what you have done. And I tell you with pride that I am counted as a friend by many of you sitting out there. The feeling is mutual. And you must permit me to mention with special fondness the jaunty, jovial, jocular gestures of Section J. A group that moves through the law school corridors like group therapy sessions, patients on an outing. I also told you that day in August that you could learn to love the law, to care deeply about how legal institutions work in this country. It would be, I knew, an acquired love, one that is achieved by labor, like the love of great music, literature, or good Scotch whiskey. For that reason, I could not promise that all of you would find it during your 3 years here. All I could promise that day was that the faculty, to a person, stood ready to help you with the search. And what is plain to me is that many of you have found the way to caring about the law. You show that caring in your work on the journals and reviews and in other law-related extracurricular activities. You show it in your impatience with poorly drafted statutes and poorly fashioned opinions of our courts. And you show it most magnificently in your generous contributions to student-funded fellowships. What nobler carers about the law are there than Shelley Jackson, Jeff Pinsey, and Lindsay Robertson? I make something of this business of caring about the law, for I'm deeply convinced that it is those in practice who never learn to care about the law who find the practice of it dismal and dreary. While there is no use hiding the fact that the practice of law can, from time to time, numb the mind and weary the spirit, it is just as obvious, in fact, that lawyers who see the law richly, who see it in the dense texture of history, who work to improve its social performance, who understand deeply that caring about law is caring about those whom law serves and disserves. Those lawyers can draw endless satisfaction from its practice. Do not deceive yourselves. If you cannot learn to care about the law, no salary will be large enough to compensate you fairly. I mentioned to you a minute ago that the 3 years that you have been here went by for me in the blink of an eye. That's quite true. Time past, for me at least, gets collapsed. The years into days, the days into minutes. But time future seems to stretch out across the horizon. I suspect I'm not alone in this, for our common vocabulary captures the sense of collapsed time when we speak of events that were far in the past having occurred only yesterday. 2 weeks ago, I delivered a brief talk to the reuniting members of the first class I taught at this law school, the class of 1966. During that talk, I asked them what I should tell you today. And their message to you is this: today will, 20 years from now, be only yesterday. So be kind to yourself. Don't waste the hours and don't waste the minutes. The opportunities that will be open for you in the years that lie ahead will be many and exciting. There is so much to do and to experience in that world out there that it would take a lifespan of centuries merely to sample the more attractive possibilities. There is music to be heard, poetry to be read, languages to be learned, dogs to be loved, museums to be built, games to be played, wine to be tasted, poor to be helped, codes to be revised, children to be raised, spouses to be cherished, injustice to be corrected, the Red Sox to be cheered in victory, and a law school to support. Finally, keep alive your kinship with the past. If, as I have suggested, one's personal time past gets condensed into the flash of a moment, public time past, historical time, if you please, seems to get elongated as if viewed from the wrong end of a telescope. Figures like Thomas Jefferson seem distant, quaint, almost mythical, porcelainized to be placed upon a knick-knack shelf. Do you know how close to us in time Jefferson really was? I'll tell you. You could today talk to a living human being who could easily have known persons who knew Jefferson personally. In fact, you could talk to thousands today who meet that test, For meeting it requires only that one be in one's 90s. But I have a particular one in mind, a lady living in New Haven, Connecticut, who was born in 1886 and will be 100 years old this September. It is the purest of coincidences that she is my mother. But you mustn't blame her for that, for she didn't know what she was doing. The whole history of America and of American law since independence extends then little farther back in time than 2 long human lives. So your kinship with America's past, in law at least, is perhaps more proximate and intimate than you are aware. In urging you to keep that kinship alive and vivid, I simply have it in mind that your life in law will be the richer for it. Your kinship is with human beings who were great in the law, human beings of bold moral and political vision. As you grow to sense your closeness to them, you will, I am sure, find that there is greatness in you. I thought of my first talk to you in 19...
Gage Randolph Johnson. Patricia Lynn Johnson. Richard M. Kaminsky. Brenda Cheryl Karakoff.
I see you. Okay. You stay there.
Let me